So today's video is going to be on my high school portfolio. That's this little thing. Just because it's about time to finish your applications for school again. So I'm currently in my 4th year or my last semester at university. I'm taking interior design at Ryerson, and I thought it would be a nice idea to just kind of look over all the progress I've made over these past 4 years. Hopefully this video will help some potential applicants into Ryerson's interior design program or other design schools in preparation for your application. So my portfolio, I started by keeping the format of a standard 11x17 sheet. And basically I did this because I wanted enough space to kind of show all my process through my projects. So my first project was a large pop-up Christmas card. I still have the original, but it's kind of banged up now. There's a switch on the side for the lights, but the batteries ran out, so they don't exactly work anymore. It was supposed to be more of a arts and crafts project rather than a portfolio piece, but I ended up putting it in just because I thought it was something a little different than what they would normally see. This piece was a mud house I made for my architectural design class. I created these forms for me to press in the mud, and I made these little bricks, built up a foundation, and then put up a layer for the flooring, just out of twigs. This piece was a quarter house of a standard residential home in Ontario, and the objective was to kind of construct a skeleton of what a house would look like. We built up a foundation out of drywall, which would represent the concrete, and we used cut out wooden pieces to put out all the joists and the vertical studs throughout the building. We drew up the plans for this piece, and then we scaled it so that, what scale is this at? I don't think we even scaled it. Oh, whoops. Well, that's one thing you could probably change. This one was a self-portrait. I feel like a lot of people doing university applications, people advise them to do self-portraits just because it shows a reflection of how you want to express yourself. And I think that's really crucial when you're applying to university because they want to see some sort of character in your creativity. I did this piece in my grade 11 visual arts class. This is actually my first painting, so it's kind of not the best, but I think it's also important to show a variety of mediums throughout your portfolio, just because it shows that you're able to learn new things. Now this one was a ink sketch of my room in 2013. So it looked something like this, and I just used micron pens to kind of draw up on a 18x24 size sheet. I would recommend doing some larger scale pieces just because when universities do look at your portfolio, they don't want all your drawings to be on a small little A4 size sheet. It's a good idea to have them on different scales just to show your ability to draw in larger settings. This one was more of an art piece. It was called the Grid Project, and I was looking at forms in paper, and I wanted to see how light and shadow would affect the tone of a color based on its three-dimensional plane. So I just played with the varying elevations in both these pieces. To finish off, I just had a sketchbook piece that I put in. This is a rather last-minute piece. Throughout my architectural design classes in high school, I did some manual hand drafting. As for the required pieces, I don't sketch very much at all, so I just did the required pieces as drawings, but it's just something I had to get out of the way. Finally, for one of my applications. So this one was for the Ryerson Interior Design Challenge to redesign a public entrance. I chose a subway entrance and change how efficient public entrance would work. So it used to be pull-out doors and push doors, and I found that every time I would go through this entrance, it would be very difficult to go through just because there's a limited turn radius for the actual doors to open. So when there is a lot of traffic and a lot of people rushing through, then it would hold up some of the traffic in this little vestibule space. So I started thinking about having larger doors swing out or having even sliding doors come out. So this was the original dimensions I took and I drew up on CAD. And then the final design looks something like this, having extra large sliding doors. That way you wouldn't have to worry about the turn radius when people are rushing through the space. Here's just showing a little bit of my process for the model. More process. And I believe I had my brother fix up a little logo or a little signage for me because he's a graphic designer, and that was just a little nice touch because this was when they were updating the subway signs. So he used some of the new branding that they were talking about bringing in at the time, and he printed out a little sign for me. And then these are just like some of the aspects I was thinking about when I was making this design piece. And that's the final piece. I think I still have the original model, but it's a little beat up at this point. Here you have like a plan view, and then you have these little sliding doors that come open. It worked a lot better when I finished it. Now it's just kind of falling apart. This is what it would look like in your elevation view. So that was my high school portfolio for 2013, 4 years ago. And in summary, I guess I just wanted to say that it's extremely important to document your process. When universities look at your application, they want to see how you think creatively and how you solve whatever problems you might encounter. So it's important to show how you came from step A to step B. Also, most of the pieces in your portfolio should be pieces that you enjoy doing. So work on creative pieces that you like working on. If you're forcing yourself to try a medium that you don't exactly love or you don't have a passion for, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to improve and to keep on working on your skills. As for the requisite pieces that some courses require, you can't really get around some of those. So if you like it, then that's great. But if you don't, then just kind of get over it and work it through. I believe the reason they do those requisite pieces to just have a level foundation for your creative ability. So it's nothing too much you should worry about. One piece of advice that you would take from this video today, I would recommend you to start early, because I started fairly late. I started right before grade 12 started. So that didn't give me a lot of time to kind of maintain my grades in high school, as well as produce portfolio pieces, just because I would be having like a school workload while I'm trying to complete my portfolio. It's really difficult. That's it for today. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up down below, and if you want to hear more about, I guess, my design journey, then feel free to hit that subscribe button in the section down below. Thanks for watching. I see you guys next week. Bye.